30 years later, a break in Fort Wayne's most notorious cold case. Police have made an arrest in the 1988 homicide of April Tinsley. Good evening, I'm Kaitor K. Police arrested a man this morning in connection with the April Tinsley case. 8-year-old April was abducted from her neighborhood in South Central Fort Wayne back in 1988 as she walked to a friend's house. 3 days later, her body was found in a ditch in southern DeKalb County. The cold case has since been featured on many shows, including America's Most Wanted and Crime Watch Daily. According to court documents, 59-year-old John D. Miller of Grable confessed to raping Tinsley and killing her after DNA evidence linked him to the crime. A woman says she was shocked to learn that her neighbor is now at the center of the cold case. News Channel 15's Angelica Robinson joins us now with the latest.
For more than 3 decades, John D. Miller has kept a low profile, but evidence found in a trash can near his home led police to a trailer park in Grable. His neighbors shocked to learn that April Tinsley's killer may have been right under their nose the entire time. A crack in a decades-old case.
Gives me chills up and down my spine.
April Tinsley's suspected killer, John D. Miller, taken into custody Sunday morning. His home, a stone's throw away from Don Mueller's trailer, where she lives with her young daughter.
I saw cops everywhere and I was just really devastated. I didn't know what was going on.
It's Fort Wayne's most notorious cold case. April 1st, 1988. It's the last time anyone saw 8-year-old April Tinsley alive. Days later, her body found in a DeKalb County ditch. She was molested, suffocated. Her death ruled a homicide. A forensic exam of her underwear revealed DNA from an unknown male, but it wasn't until 30 years later that police were able to find the match. Investigators collected several items from Miller's trash can located near his trailer in the 13,000 block of Main Street in Grable, including 3 used condoms. Authorities learned that the DNA from those condoms was consistent with that of the unknown man's DNA found in Tinsley's underwear in '88.
I let my daughter play right here in my yard or across the street and by the softball diamonds. And as a child for myself, my cousin and I used to run these streets.
Miller was called in for questioning, and when asked if he knew why the police wanted to talk to him, he replied, April Tinsley. According to a probable cause affidavit, Miller admitted to abducting Tinsley from Hoagland Street in Fort Wayne. He'd said he took her to his trailer and had sex with her. He reportedly told police he choked her to death so she would not report him. Then he dumped her body the next day.
I would drive every morning from work and I would see him get out of his car. And I couldn't imagine that it would even be him. Had no idea.
Miller is now booked in Allen County Jail. His first court appearance will be Monday morning. In studio, Angelica Robinson, News Channel 15.
I know somewhere up there there's a little girl dancing with her angels. She's celebrating. So when you get on your knees tonight and you talk to her in your dreams and prayers, tell her they did it. They did it and we got them.
Within the past hour, authorities wrapped up a press conference about the 30-year-old abduction and murder of 8-year-old April Tinsley. Good afternoon, I'm Pat Hoffman. This is the first time that police and prosecutors have talked with the media since John Miller was arrested Sunday. My partner Alyssa Ivinson was at that press conference. She joins us live from the Rousseau Center to tell us more about what they had to say. Alyssa?
The press conference wrapped up just about 30 minutes ago. Behind me here at the podium a little bit ago, it was just lined with law enforcement officers and the prosecutor's office, all the people who worked tirelessly for the last 30 years trying to get to this day, to a day where they might know who killed April Tinsley 30 years ago in 1988. Prosecutor Karen Richards would not give many details, very few, about the case specifics, but the tone today was thanking the law enforcement officers for their hard work, for that dedication, for not giving up hope, and thanking the community for the hundreds and hundreds of tips that they gave over the years, and thanking the media for the stories that we did and the coverage that we gave April's story and keeping her story alive in the community. Karen Richards calling this a case that haunted the community for 30 years, a case that she says was emotional for everybody, and today she showed some of that emotion. We talked to her about that.
If you don't have emotion for the abduction and the murder of an 8-year-old, then you don't belong in this business. I mean, this should pull at your heartstrings.
All the police officers who spoke also said they always knew this day would come because they did have DNA evidence in this case, and they were confident that one day there would be a match. Even after they had hit after hit that didn't work out, they one day had the hit that did work, and that was a match with John Miller, who was arrested on Sunday. And we talked with Parabon, the company that has this DNA technology, and they told us that actually the new technology they used just was finished in May, and they've already had 5 cold case hits across the country, the Tinsley case being one of them. On July 9th, there was the match, and then July 15th, Miller was arrested. He is due back in court on July 19th, and he's expected to face formal charges then. We do have team coverage on this today. Angelica Robinson and Chris Darby will have much more for you tonight at 5 and 6. Live downtown, Alyssa Ivinson, News Channel 15.
I mean, we didn't expect this, and this is well overwhelming. We're still not processing it.
Breaking now, the Allen County prosecutor has filed formal charges against John Miller. He is facing murder and child molesting charges and is scheduled to be in court tomorrow morning. April Tinsley's mother spoke to local media for the first time since police arrested the man accused of killing her daughter. Janet Tinsley says the arrest is a start in seeking justice for April. Today, she told 15 Finds Out investigative anchor Alyssa Ivinson it's a day she dreamed of but wasn't sure would ever come. Alyssa starts our team coverage tonight with more from April's mom.
As the memorial for April grows here in her garden, today her mother returned and sat on the same bench where she comes so often. But today, after the arrest of a man accused of killing her daughter, she told us a much different story.
It's been overwhelming. You just can't believe it, and you're thinking, is this actually true? And you're pinching yourself.
A moment Janet Tinsley has waited for decades.
Just hearing that, they finally found him, it's pretty much justice for her.
A man behind bars charged with killing her little girl, 8-year-old April Marie Tinsley, in 1988. An agonizing 30 years passed by, ups and downs in the case, new leads, but never an arrest.
I was hoping, one day it will come.
That day came Sunday when police knocked on her door.
They said they got him, and pretty much that's all I needed to hear is that they got him. It was like you got that chill feel, goes from the top of your head down to your toes, and it's like you want to believe it, then you can't believe it, and it's like it's been so long, but it's been good.
Janet grateful to the detectives who never gave up, and a community that never stopped caring.
Everybody that's involved, you want to, give your thanks to them.
Gifts for April in her garden still growing.
There you go. That's great. There you go, baby.
They ain't got to do what they're doing, but the family pretty much appreciates it.
While Janet was sharing her emotional story, there was another face in the crowd, full of tears. The mother of the young girl who was with April the day she disappeared.
Little did we know we were going to get a knock on the door a couple hours later stating that April was missing.
A little girl who left a big hole in a lot of hearts.
Her big brown eyes all lit up the whole neighborhood.
Yeah.
When you seen her coming down. She'd skip. She wouldn't walk, she'd skip.
The arrest, the beginning of closure.
The pain that everybody has been gone through now can be lifted because April now can rest in peace.
But one question remains.
Why? That's really the only thing I got to say to him. I said, I just want to know why and see if he can come up with a good answer.
Would any answer be enough?
I would like him to explain himself, but right now I'll probably just take whatever I can get.
Janet still talks to her little girl at her grave and sitting for hours in her garden. She says she hasn't told April about the arrest yet, but a tiny visitor to the garden today
Usually there's like a white butterfly will fly around.
Might have been telling us
April's angel.
That April already knows. Janet tells us she isn't sure if she'll be at all of the court proceedings for John Miller, but she told us his arrest is at least a start in seeking justice for April. In Fort Wayne, Alyssa Ivinson, News Channel 15.